Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Thank you. I want to thank you for being there. I want to thank you for making it another day. We thank God for the life for all Ambazonians across the world. Thank you. Today we're gonna be trying to look at the Ambazonian struggle in light with other struggles that have been there in the past and in the present, so that we see how independent movement have been there for historical time. Okay, we are seeing a lot of independent movement today. You know, depending on the circumstances of their struggle, the name changes. Okay, some will call it independent movement, some will call it whatever name they want to call it, depending on the kind of struggle that they have. Right, most of the struggle ends in different ways. Some end in still federal system, some end in autonomy. Some of these struggle ends in referendums, right? Some end with through international mediation. That is why we are saying that the Ambazonian struggle, we don't know the end in sight for now. Okay, we are looking at avenues for peaceful resolution. Okay, and we cannot determine the pathway towards our struggle unless we keep the struggle moving. And by the grace of God, our struggle might end through a referendum, which is a United Nations sponsored referendum, okay, like the one in East Timor. And also there are other ways through international mediation. Okay, there are other ways that we are going to look at that. So today I want to bring this because people are looking at the Ambazonian struggle like a struggle that is just the only struggle in the world, and they don't know that there are many struggles or many independent movements that happened in the past years, and even during the decolonization years, most African countries had to fight for their independence. Don't forget, independence wasn't given to African countries. They fought for it. Yes, they fought for it, you know. So even that same La Republique fought for their independence. If you don't know, La Republique fought for their independence. That's why the French used to term those people, the UPC, as the maquisards. You see, it's the same appellation that they are trying to label. They're trying to label the Ambazonian people today, that they are maquisards, they are terrorists, they are these. But the international community already understand that kind of manipulation. Okay, at this present juncture, that kind of appellation will not work, because this generation is not that foolish to be manipulated. You know, in terms of their history, they know their history, they know what they are fighting for. Okay, it's a just cause. It's not any kind of rebel group or rebel whatever anyone want to call it. Okay, that is why our success in the United States is due to the legality of our struggle. America will not allow rebel groups in their country. America will not allow any illegal group in their country. America will not do that. Okay, that is why America will not allow Al-Qaeda, for example, to have a government, to have a diplomatic mission in their country until they are giving you people TPS status. America will not do that. So America is not foolish. They know the poor human rights record of La République du Cameroon. Whatever way they want to turn it, they want to twist it. The government of America understand what we are fighting for. Okay, the former U.S. ambassador for African Affairs, Tibor Nagy, is not a small person, right? That's a Secretary of State. When you people hear Tibor Nagy talking, you think that as somebody who is just from anywhere. Okay, that's the former American Secretary of State for African Affairs. Okay, so it's not any kind of person talking, you know. So he understands, his comments to the struggle is what America is saying behind the scene. So whatever you people are saying, those people who are very ignorant of the law, they don't know what they're saying. Okay, they should understand what we are talking about here. Okay, as of my last knowledge, okay, we started our struggle in 2016. Okay, but don't forget that our struggle started long ago. Don't make that mistake. The struggle for the restoration of the people of Southern Cameroon started long ago with the Fonchas and the Endelis. Okay, but they were suppressed. They were jailed, they were beaten, they were mistreated, they were being incarcerated. That's how they were treated. Why? Because they were using the same argument that they have been using all along. Okay, the term they say the force of argument. Okay, it means that they want to use the peaceful means. They've been using the peaceful means all along, right? And the Republic has been pounding on this NCNC people for long. Okay, they label them terrorist group, they label them all kinds of names, whereas these are people who had genuine concerns. When we were young, the way we were looking at these people, we were looking at them like terrorists, true, because the way that Republic will paint them, it will look as if they don't even know what they're doing. And it's the same way that Republic is trying to paint our struggle today. Okay, they want to make it look so terrorists, they will call it terrorists and all those kind of when it is not even the case, right? Because when you see government, we are talking with governments, we are talking with ambassadors, we are talking with diplomats. They understand our struggle. Okay, most of the diplomats are even the one giving us advice what to do if you don't know. So it's not about what La Republic say, it's about what the Ambazonian people want. We should understand that. So it's not La Republic giving us anything. La Republic cannot give us anything. It's what the Ambazonian people want for themselves. That's what it is going to be. So don't be confused, okay? And I want to make, why I want to bring this today, because there are some people who have that tendency of saying, oh, down that thing, where you don't know that many countries before they had their independence passed through the same process. No country had their independence without fighting. Most countries fought. Okay, the common example is America here. Do you know that America fought their war of independence with the British? Yes, the American War of Independence. They fought until today. They are still celebrating that their day that they got their independence from the British. So if you think that countries will just sit and they will give you independence, no way. No country has sat and they give you your independence in a platter of gold. You fight for it. Okay, you fight for it. You remember the Soviet Union. You know what it called Soviet Union? Do you know how many countries fought for their independence from the Soviet Union? So many countries fought for their independence from the Soviet Union. I mean, when you see countries today, you think that, oh, they just came, they were just there, they just came. No. Most of these countries had to fight for their independence before they were granted. Though no countries had an easy ride. Ukraine, why Russia is fighting Ukraine today, you don't know that Ukraine used to be under the Soviet Union. Ukraine used to be under the Soviet Union. Turkey, this Turkey that you are going today like this, used to be under the Soviet Union. Okay, Lithuania, these are countries now today that were under the Soviet Union. Now it's only Russia, because all these countries, all these regions, by then they were states. They had to leave. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Turkey, all these are states that used to be part of Soviet Union, that union. But they said enough is enough. That's why, don't forget, all these countries fought the wars before they left Soviet Union. They did not live with so if somebody is telling you today that, oh, our country is this, our country, go and read the history of that countries. Okay, read the histories of those countries. Then you will know that majority of the countries today, they will not form through peace, because countries like to have they like to have authority over regions. Okay, yes, Estonia had the War of Independence. Latvia had the War of Independence. Lithuania had the War of Independence. Ukraine had the War of Independence. That's why Russia is trying to claim Ukraine back. That's why Russia is going back, that they want to claim some of those territories that they lost. Okay, remember Russia even fought and took some other part of Ukraine before. They called Donetsk, the Donetsk province. That was part of Ukraine. Russia fought it and they won, and they took it because majority of the population they were already Russians, right? Why am I bringing this? I'm just trying to give you a balance of your thinking, so that there are some people who think that this Ambazonian struggle is just only the Ambazonian struggle. It's just the Ambazonian struggle. You don't know that our struggle as we speak now, there are many countries that are states that already had independence, but they are still seeking for recognition. Don't forget, Somaliland is a very good example. Somaliland fought for wars, years, against the Sudanese government. But today, how many countries are still recognizing them? Very few countries. But they are accepting that hegemony over. They said this is their country. If you can, you recognize us. Okay, we have a government. We have this. We have this. You see, we have this. If you want, okay, now Ethiopia went and they just signed a memorandum of understanding. And who is supporting it? The international community is supporting now. Egypt wanted to refuse. They told the Egyptian president, if you refuse, you know, there are many things that you lost from this thing. So the Egyptian president made a U-turn, and now they recognize the Ethiopian Somaliland agreement. So it is about what you want for your country. Anything you want for your country, fine. That's how the international community will take it. When this flag thing happened, it is thanks to the work of what you people are doing. We have made our struggle be an international struggle. You can watch all kinds of people now talking about Ambazonia on YouTube, on Facebook, on different social media about Ambazonia. That is what we are talking about. We have made them to, you know, it's like a religion. We have made Ambazonia, that's what they call a movement. Okay, you people don't, you know, you are thinking only about your group, your this. No, try to put all this group together, what they are doing, how they have been fighting, the freedom fighters back there, how they are exposing the struggle, how they are fighting. All these people put together, activists, what they are doing, anything that you are doing. That's why this thing is not for one person. You cannot fight this fight alone, except you are just being selfish. This thing is what they call division of labor in economics. You know, they say division of labor. You divide work to make the work light. That is what companies does, right? Some companies will give this to this, take this one, take this, and it helped them. So we are talking about the effort, the sensitization, the media campaign, the publicity, the propaganda, anything that Amazonian people have been doing together is what made what happened about the flag. It's not the work of one person. No one person can take the glory, but continuous effort. Okay, whatever you're doing to help the struggle, not doing to distract the struggle. If you're doing to distract the struggle, that's your problem. But whatever you're doing to help the struggle is good for the struggle, because it's part of this sensitization campaign that we're doing. Okay, these countries fought all these wars. It was not only through the barrel of the gun. No, they had different things. They had black legs too. Okay, so don't forget. I know you people think that black legs will only happen now. No, all struggle had black legs, because we have spoken with the Eritreans, we have spoken with the South Sudanese, we have spoken with most of these other countries. They had the same black legs, you know. But the fate of the black leg is something of another day, you know, where some of them were trying to come back and they refused them. They say, you're a black leg, you cannot come to a country that you do not want the country to exist. If you don't want Ambazonia to exist, why will you come to Ambazonia when Ambazonia is free? Okay, so you stay in Yaoundé, right? That's all. Because you will not causing a roadblock to the people's freedom. Then when the people have freedom, you're coming out to enjoy that same freedom that you were refusing the people to have. It will not work like that, right? Yes. So now, one of those struggles that are similar to the Ambazonian, is the Kurdish conflict. We are trying to compare this crisis with we are trying to compare Ambazonian crisis with other crises, okay? But I just choose few. There are many of them, but I just choose few so that we should try to relate with our crisis, so that we know that we are not only the one fighting for independence, or that had fought for independence, right? You can call it independence or self-determination, okay? So it depends how you want to make it, or how your situation is, because it's not the same situation, okay? Let me make this first very, very clear. Ambazonian struggle, it stems right in 1961, okay, when they forced us to join the people of La Republic, okay? So that is very clear, and that is where the root causes start. The root cause of our own problem started in 1961. So let's be clear with that, okay? Now, we have the Kurdish conflict. The Kurdish conflict is how similar is the Kurdish conflict to the Ambazonian conflict? The Kurdish conflict is similar to Ambazonian conflict because it involves self-determination and independence, right? The Kurds, the only difference with the Kurdish conflict is that the Kurds spans across many countries. You know, Iraq has Kurds, Iran has Kurds, Syria has Kurds, and Turkey has Kurds. All these countries has Turks. So whereas the Ambazonian struggle is very specific to the Ambazonian people, okay? That's the difference between the Kurdish conflict. But the Kurdish have been fighting for so long, okay? They have been fighting for their autonomy, for their own independence for so long now, okay? That is one of the example, you know. Another example is the South Sudanese crisis, okay? The South Sudanese people started fighting their struggle for many years, okay? The similarity with the Sudanese conflict with that of Ambazonia is that they are both self-determination and fighting for independence, okay? From the South Sudanese were fighting for the independence from the Sudanese government, all right, who occupied South Sudan, okay? And if you look at the history, you see that the South Sudanese civil war led to the creation of South Sudan, okay, as an independent nation today, okay? So Ambazonian struggle is still ongoing, but we are still looking for international recognition, okay? We are independent state, okay? We are looking now for independent recognition, for the recognition. So we have restored our independence, okay? So that's the difference between. But now today, South Sudanese are free. They have their own nation, the South Sudanese nation, as an independent nation, okay? And today they are a nation, okay? So that's the difference, okay? Then you have the Basque conflict. The Basque, okay? The Basque is popularly known as Barcelona. You know, Barcelona is a region in Spain that has been also clamoring for their independence, okay? So, and you remember the Basques have had about 3 different referendums, right? Yes, they've had about 3 of them, okay? But you know, there's a lot of politics going on, so but they have not been successful to okay. The similarity is that they are also seeking for autonomy and independence like Ambazonia, but the only difference is that the Basque conflict primarily centers around Spain, because they are part of Spain, and some of the Basques are also part of France, you know, to some extent. So okay, so that's a little bit of difference, but The Basque is also having, you know, the capital of the Basque is Barcelona. Don't forget. So, you know, there are countries that have, you know, crisis of independent movement, but you people will not see them, right? You will not understand that they are having those crises going on within the countries, even, right? Even Canada, don't forget, Quebec is the French part of Canada. They also had referendum, like 2 referendums. They want to leave Canada, okay? So these are different movements that people think that, oh, you know, it's good to understand that Ambazonia is not the only movement, independent movement. So that when somebody is saying something, you're saying, must I leave that thing? Because, you know, these countries did not have their independence in peace. Okay, there is this other one they call the Senegambia. I like to mention this because this is between the French and the English country. Gambia is the English country, right? And the Senegal is a French country. They came together sometime. They called them Senegambia. The country was not moving. The Senegalese people tried to integrate with the Gambian people. The Gambian people tried to integrate with the Senegalese people. It did not go. They had to separate. But it was not a peaceful separation too. You see, there was a war that they had to fight. The Senegal and Gambia had to fight a war before they separated. Today, Senegal, you saw the Cameroon national team played the Gambia national team, right? While you saw the Senegal national team also played. So that is how the two countries also separated. So it is not about any issue, or, you know, so people have to learn that most countries did not get their independence so easily. It did not come to them on a platter of gold. No, they fought for their independence. And when you fought for your independence, you are proud of that flag. You are proud of that flag. Okay? Yes. I mean, if La Republic tell you that they did not fight for independence, they are lying. The history, go read the history. Remember, during the 1960s, even during the plebiscite time, La Republic was in war. Yes, La Republic was fighting the opposition people there who were opposing the French rule, you know. France is the one that installed Aijo, because France was why the UPC, all these guys were termed as maquisards. They were termed like terrorists, Most of them were Bamilekes, the Bassas. Okay, most of them migrated to Ambazonia. That's why today you have a lot of Bamilekes and Bassas in Ambazonia today. Yes, yeah, because they fled during the time of their crisis. And that is why sometimes you ask the question, why would Britain ask us to join a country that was fighting their own war? La Republic was in a civil war back then. Okay, Aijo never even wanted us to join them. Okay, but when they realized that, oh, it's a different culture, or they like the culture, they became jealous of the Anglo-Saxon culture. Okay, yeah, that's what happened. Aijo did not want us to join them. Actually, he was, you know, but France, because of that territorial aggrandizement, they want to have more territories, so they forced Aijo to accept. But in 1972, when they discovered oil, that's when Aijo said, oh, les gens sont riches. Okay, that is the history, but we'll not go back to that one. So then now another conflict that is very similar today is the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Both La Republic, the Ambazonian and the Palestinian are fighting for self-determination and independence today. The Israelites, you see the bombings, the killings. So the only difference between the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is that it's characterized by that historical and religious kind of geopolitical complexities, where the Ambazonian crisis is rooted in our own independence, where we're forced to join La Republic. So it is a different kind of, you know, the Israel-Palestinian conflict stemmed through that kind of geopolitical complexity, because the Israelites were looking for land to settle themselves. They had to forcefully settle themselves in that area. Okay, that's why they are being surrounded by Muslim countries. Okay, the Jews, they are being surrounded by Muslim countries, but Israel is still fighting. Okay, that's why you get the Hamas, that the American have termed a terrorist group. They are fighting for their land, as you say, right? And America will go and favor one side and this side and this side. So that's how the conflict has been ongoing. So it's a long conflict. So that one is ongoing too, right? So don't forget, even the Ukraine-Russia conflict is still ongoing, right? Think about it. This a conflict that has been there before is still continuing today for years and years and years and years. So some people would think that, oh, our conflict has been for 7 years. That's why I say, if you want to stay in this fight, stay in this fight. Don't stay in this fight because of X, Y, Z. No, stay in this fight because you want to liberate a country. Don't think that it's this person or that person. Nobody brought me into this struggle, and nobody will determine what I think about the struggle. I know what I'm fighting for. I know I'm fighting for a genuine cause, like for the country that I love, Ambazonian. So I will not envy nobody. I will not be having any grievance with anybody. So if anybody have grievance with me, that's your problem. I don't care, because I know I'm fighting a just fight. Okay, I'm very focused. Yes, you have this other conflict, the Chechen conflict. Don't forget the Chechen, which also they are also, the Chechen people are also fighting for their independence. Okay, from the Russian. Don't forget. So the Chechen conflict is centered around the North Caucasus of Russia. Okay, so they are also fighting for their struggle. Just know, each of these conflict has its own unique historical and cultural and political context and different dynamics. Okay, so all these things influence these conflicts in various factors. So don't think that this conflict have the same reason or the same historical. You see, that's why I always want to specify about Ambazonian conflict, so that even though people can put our conflict with other conflict, but our own is very genuine conflict. There is nobody that can say, because our own country was voted for, was granted independence. Okay, but we were the only country that was granted independence. Then they asked you to join another country. That is the problem. So we don't have any issue of fighting for a land or want to occupy a land. No, our boundaries were there since 1961. So our own case is just very unique. We don't have any issue. It's like Republic that came and brought their military, brought their gendarmes and occupy our land. Because we had our mobile police. If not, today we would have had our mobile police. We wouldn't have had freedom fighters today. But La Republic realized that we had just the police force. We're very peaceful people. We had just the mobile police. We did not have the military. They took advantage of that. They brought in their military. That is it. So, but while each conflict is unique and shaped by these specific historical factors, there are some commonalities with other. Okay, so what are those things that make our struggle so similar to other struggle? I want to bring this because it's very important for you to know certain areas where our people have been very annoyed with. We have grievances and identity issue. Okay, many independent movements arise from these historical grievances, perceived marginalization, okay, and identity issue. This is often rooted in that aspect of language, the culture, the ethnicity between. Our case, back then, the SCNC, all these activists back then, in the 90s, they were begging but for federation. They were begging but for the return of the federation in the, in the 60s and the 70s, right? When Ajo abolished that federal system, that is what they were asking for, because that federal system still gave us some autonomy to have control over our resources, because our prime minister was there in the prime minister rush in Boya, right? Even though we're together with the La Republic, but we had the autonomy because it was a federal system. Okay, so all along, after Ajo abolished that system in that fake referendum thing, our people were clamoring for that return to that system. They were not even clamoring for an independent state. So that's the difference. Okay, yeah, that's the difference. So some people would think that is just like coming from nowhere, and no, our people were very eager to clamor for their own state. Only after they saw the bad fate, that's when they start demanding for autonomy. Okay, so like many other independent movements, they advocate for a greater autonomy when they realize that the government of other federated states are trying to have more powers, more centralized powers. That's why people are talking today of, they are trying to talk today of decentralization. But you see, it's only on paper, right? Everything is in Yaoundé, right? And this is what we stem. This is one of the causes of that bring most countries to start clamoring for self-determination and control over their local resources and their governance, right? When one country or one government would want to marginalize or take everything, and take all the autonomy, okay, from a region that you people are federating together. Okay, there are countries that still want to remain within their own autonomy, but it's because the central government does not exert too much power. America is a federal system, right? The states have their activities going on. The federal government only have certain powers that they can say some certain things, but the states in America, they elect their governors, right? They elect their own administration and everything. They are representative to go and represent them there. They have autonomy. That is why some states will pass some laws. Yes, states pass some laws, and other states. There are states in America that are just approve polygamous marriage. I'm telling you, why there are states that do not want to see that. So each state has some certain things that they pass. There are states in America that is not. You see, the only thing that becomes federal law is when it is passed through the Supreme Court, okay, or when it is passed through the Parliament, okay. But there is long debate between the two parties, the Republican and the Democratic Party, before anything is passed. It's not easy. Okay, so that is how the federal system works. Okay, each state has its own autonomy. They elect their governors. The governors act like the president of that state. Okay, the senators go to represent. Then they have their own regional Senate and House of Representatives. Okay, that's where they elect members to go and represent in the general House of Reps. So it is not just like, like Trump can just come and impose something on any state like that. No, it doesn't work like that, right? Or President Biden just impose. No, there is a lot of autonomy that each state exerts. That's how federal system work. Okay, but do you think La Republic can accept this kind of American system? I'm asking my fellow federalists who are proud federalists. Can you have this kind of system in La Republic today? Think about it. Those people who say they want federation, America is a good example of federation. But think of it. Can it work for you? Your neighbor there, is, is a federal system. Nigeria, is it working for them? Just see how it goes. It can work for some countries, but it cannot work for other countries. Okay, yes. Similar issue are those concerns like violence and human rights concerns. We have experienced violence in this system, that when our parents used to talk their thing of the force of argument, that time has passed, right? When Biya declared war of the people of Ambazonian, the people of Ambazonian say, okay, we came with peace plans, we marched peacefully, we did everything peacefully for the past years. Now you declare war. Okay, the international community or the international law states that you have the right for self-defense. That's why you see so many conflicts today. The Palestinian people are defending themselves. The Ukrainian people are defending themselves. Okay, from any occupier, you come to occupy their land, they will defend themselves. Irrespective of what you say, they are defending themselves. It's self-defense. It's not about, you see, that's why many countries are condemning Israel today for attacking the Palestinian people, right? So it goes that way. That's international law, international system. That's how it works. Okay, yeah. So what we are saying today is that the international community also involve itself in this crisis, right? That's why there's a lot of discussion going behind the scene, right? A lot of discussion going behind the scene. Cameroon's government is trying to play the international community. All along these 7 years, the Cameroon government has dribbled. When you call Maradona, Cameroon government has been the political Maradona or the diplomatic Maradona of their game. They up their game of corruption. They up their game of manipulation. They up their game of dribbling the international community. But today, they have gone to the end point where they cannot dribble anymore. The international community already know them. They know how corrupt they are. They know how corrupt the system is. They know how dictatorial the system is. They know how the system is abusing human rights. They know, so the international community already know, that's how you have condemnation from all human rights groups condemning what La Republic is doing. Nobody is supporting La Republic as it's talk today. They can be surprised why France is putting our flag there. France is just signaling to them that when time comes, Master, leave that people to go, because La Republic has become like a burden to France. France is the one supporting La Republic, and La Republic owe a lot of money today. They cannot pay for more materials, so France cannot keep supporting them. Okay, France cannot keep supporting them. You keep supporting them for how long? France is just telling them that we are tired. We cannot be giving you money for 7 years, squandering money. Then you cannot pay us. No businessman will give you some supplies if you have not been paying. So France is just telling them that, oh, these people finally, La Republic, leave that war. I'm telling you, the worst thing, the worst mistake La Republic will do is for a next president to come and continue this war. I'm just saying, the worst mistake La Republic will do is for the person that will inherit Biya to come and do what Biya is doing today, because you carry the worst burden of your presidency. Yes, because it will not be easy. Because if Biya have tried for 7 years, who can come and that's why we are telling even Kamto or Frank Biya, whoever will take presidency there, if they come and continue this nonsense that Biya is doing, they will regret it, because they will spend all their time on the struggle. They won't do anything for their country. Instead of focusing on building their country, you're there fighting to fight Ambazonians. a peaceful people. And you know, when we look at the historical aspect too, right, it's a very important aspect where the past events, our colonial legacies, how they fool our people in the Fumban conference, the Cameroon government of Ahijo changed the constitution and imposed their own constitution on our people. They changed the flags, and all these things are the dynamics of the conflict. Okay, where if you look at what happened just of recent about their flag, just one day that their flag was changed for them, see how they got crazy, right? But our people have lost everything. We lost our flag, we lost our anthem when we joined these guys, right? That's what we call the policy of assimilation. We were assimilated. We were assimilated. And you see people who come and be talking today about one. What can they talk about that we have not seen? We have seen everything. We were assimilated. We were made to follow the La Republique Constitution. Then they brought this thing of 11 February. What has 11 February got to do? What has 20 May got to do? La Republique's Independence Day is the 1st of January 1960. Ambazonian independence is the 1st of October 1961. We had nothing to do with their independence. Nothing. So anything they are doing now, they are just trying to play safe, or you know, that's all what they are doing today. But we had nothing to do with their, you know. Yes. Okay. So most struggle ended in different ways. That's why I want to bring this, because our people think that they think that they can predict the end of this conflict. Most conflict ended in negotiated settlement, right? Where you have a comprehensive peace agreement. The case of South Sudan, you know, South Sudan had a peaceful settlement between the South Sudanese government and the Sudan People's Liberation Movement. Okay, yes. So these are, you know, international mediation that happened. And don't forget, Switzerland was the main person in this thing. That is why Larivolu was very afraid, because Switzerland has been part of many negotiation settlement. We already started the Swiss-led negotiation process. Larivolu back out. Okay, because Switzerland will go mediate. Mediation process is to go and meet these two parties and say, okay, this struggle, you have been fighting for 7 years. See what you have lost. See what you have lost. Now, please decide. Do you want to continue fighting, or you want to settle this? That is how mediation works. La Republique preferred to use the military option, thinking that they'll suppress our people, kill our people, right? But that is the problem. Okay. So, apart from negotiation settlement, a conflict can be resolved through the federal system. The federal system is what most countries are using today in terms of those countries that have autonomy, or they have so many especially countries that have similar languages, like the case of Basque. Okay, inside Spain, you can't tell that Basque is even different from the Spanish people, right? The Barcelona. Okay, but they are there. Okay, they are trying to go into that settlement of a federal system with the Spanish people, and that's why they live together, right? The Spanish play the league there. They are there with the Real Madrid. They always call it El Clasico, right? Because it's just like when they are playing game, Barcelona and Real Madrid. It's like two countries. Yes, that's why they call it El Clasico, because it's always strong. That's why I say sometimes we will be playing friendly games between the Doves of Ambazonian and the Indomitable Lions. That will be good game. That will be playing like good neighbors, right? Another aspect where you see autonomy is also the aspect in Scotland, okay, where you have the United Kingdom. That's why they call it UK. When you call it UK, it has Scotland, it has all these other countries there that form the United Kingdom. So don't forget, some people are confused between Britain, Great Britain, and the United Kingdom. Those small kingdoms that came together form the United Kingdom. Okay, Scotland and Ireland and all these other kingdoms. But Northern Ireland and all these other countries, they are still part of the United Kingdom, right? But they are autonomous. Don't forget, autonomous means they have their government, they have everything. They are like country, right? But they are answerable to the king or the queen of England, right? That's how it works. Okay. Now another specific example of a referendum is the East Timor. East Timor had a referendum. It was a United Nations sponsored referendum allowed by the people of East Timor to choose independence from Indonesia. Okay, from Indonesia. So why the process was not without challenge, because it has challenges, right? It demonstrated the importance of allowing affected population to express their will through a vote. That's our wish today, that the United Nations should come and sponsor a referendum, not the so people are very confused between the referendum of 1972 that AEJ organized it. That thing was a fraud. That France was there, That's why we're calling on the United Nations sponsored, internationally led referendum. That is quite what we want now. It happened the same. That's why I brought this example of East Timor. East Timor is very, very independent. Since 1999 they had that referendum, and the East Timor people had their independence very, very well, and that was how they separated with the people of Indonesia. Don't forget, after many years of fighting. Okay. And also international mediation is also very important to note. Countries are ready to mediate. We have seen Switzerland come, we have seen Canada come. If La Republic want, fine and good, we are going to go to that negotiation process. And international mediation is particularly involving international countries, right? So it's very crucial to emphasize that the resolution of conflict involves so many complexities. Okay, that's why they will take the political, the historical, and the social factors they bring together. But most countries will have international support when there's effective mediation and there's genuine commitment of both parties. That's why we cannot force La Republic to come to the negotiation table. We want them to come as they did when we had the struggle during the consolation process with the Switzerland negotiation and Canada style negotiation, right? So it is about both parties. If both parties say that, okay, enough is enough, okay, enough is enough, and they want to settle their dispute, they will settle their dispute. So that is what we are hoping. When La Republic is tired of you spending money for their military with their military option, they will opt for one of these options. And this is one of these options that I just mentioned. They will opt for one of those options. That is, now we will have autonomy to decide. No, if we want to go in for a negotiated settlement, or we want our people will go for a referendum to choose for themselves, right? That is what we are hoping that will end the conflict. And without that, La Republic can keep fighting their war. And if they think that is cheap and easy for them, good and fine for them, right? We don't mind. It's our country. Our people are there. They are respecting their ghost town. They are doing this. This 11th February, the interim government has and other group, they have worked together and said that from the 10 to, I think the 10, 11, 12, yes, 10 to 12, they will be shut down in the entire Ambazonian. Shut down, because we're not, the interim government is not doing this because they want to do this. This is how I'll just give you an example of many crises that is going on. This is how they fight for independence. Independence is not by respecting no. Independence is fought this way. We have to exert our presence. We have to impose our own autonomy and control. That is how what happened. Okay, La Republic is not a country to be laughing with. Our parents have laughed with La Republic for so many years. They dupe our parents in so many ways. I don't want to go back to that history because, but this time, this generation will not do that. Okay, that's why we are telling you people, this generation, don't allow yourself to be fooled by these people. Oh, things are going back to normal for what? How? What has changed? What has changed? How many companies that we have lost in our territory that has not come back? How many companies have you lost? How many companies have come back? None. Our children don't have jobs. The system of education is so porous. The system of economy is going down. Everything is going down because of corruption, exploitation. People are swindling money. That is what is happening. And you people say things should go back to normal. So you want to stay in that way. You see, countries have fought for their independence. I brought this because I wanted you to see the level of how countries fought for their independence. No one country, name one country that did not fight for their independence. Every country fought in one way or the other. So when you see Ambazonian fighting today, you come and be saying things. Go and read history first before you come and talk. Try and read. You younger generation today, you don't read. Try and be reading history. Go and read something so that when you come, you have you can compare two things. Don't compare one thing. When you compare one thing, you forget other examples. Compare other struggles. Compare other independent movement. Compare other activists. Compare other movements, so that you can have a sound mind. Okay, with how you talk, how you think about this Ambazonian struggle. This is not the only struggle even going on now, right? There are many struggles going on. Yes, and people are dying for their country. People are dying for their country. That's why I'm still telling you that anybody that come in this struggle to come and be talking about particular people, you are wasting your time. This struggle is about 8 million Ambazonian people. It's not about you one. You cannot be one man soldier. Share responsibility is how it works before we can win this thing. For the past 7 years, many people have sacrificed. Many people have put money. Many people have done all what they can. You one cannot come now and say you are a one-man soldier. You cannot be a one-man soldier in a whole country. Okay? Thank you for watching. Please just hit the subscribe button if you are watching for the first time. Share. Don't forget to share. Okay? So that when I come up, you're gonna be seeing me coming up all the time. Okay? Thank you for watching. I know we are heading towards another time, but thank you for watching, and God will always bless Ambazonia all the time. Okay? Thank you, and make sure that you keep supporting Ambazonian struggle. Okay? Thank you.
When I tell you, say I love you, my fine lady, my heart is here waiting on you. Wanna tell you, wanna let you know, yeah, dingy way. I go sing for you, yeah, dingy way.